For years now, lost media has been a hot topic on the internet. Typically, people have their favorite pieces, typically well-known pieces like Hitogata, Clockman, or Metropolis. Still, there are many more pieces that, while not as well known, deserve not only equal time in the spotlight, but just as much chance to be found. These are those pieces. This is lesser-known lost media.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and welcome to Volume 52 of Lesser Known Lost Media. Just a heads up, if you entered the Volume 50 giveaway, you have another week from today to claim your prize. As of yet, only one of the 3 winners has reached out to me, so if you have not already, please do so I can get you your prize. If you're new to the channel, welcome. What we do here is I cover pieces of lost media that are not nearly as well known as some of the other ones here on YouTube. I start with 4 perfectly family-friendly, safe pieces of lost media, and then we take a brief ad break, and then we get into number 5, which is our spicy piece. That's basically how it goes. If you've been here before, you know that. Again, if you're new, welcome. Let's get started. At number 1, we have our fan-requested piece of the episode. This one was requested by longtime viewer and commenter, Simon the Shorts Guy. Now, Simon has requested Alpha Blocks, partially found web-exclusive scenes of Sabibi's animated series episodes 2010 to 2013. So, Alpha Blocks is a children's show that originally aired on Sabibi's, a channel for preschoolers. The show centers around 26 anthropomorphic blocks that all represent the letters of the English alphabet, as they go around spelling words, making sounds, and going on adventures. Each of the alpha blocks have a unique design and personality. 91 original episodes were produced from January 25th, 2010 till July 2nd of 2013. Followed by 4 10 to 20 minute specials that aired throughout October of 2021, and the 4 crossover episodes with successor number blocks that aired in February of 2022. While all of these episodes are available to watch on the BBC iPlayer and on YouTube, there once used to be an Alpha Blocks Flash game that came out at the same time as the show itself, in 2010, which had 33 of the 91 original episodes turned into interchangeable versions where you drag certain alpha blocks and create words. After creating a word, a scene will play which shows the word in action. What makes the Flash game stand out from the show is that in all of the interchangeable episodes, there are some exclusive scenes for certain words that don't appear in the TV versions. While the game was available, anyone who played it could access these exclusive scenes. However, the game was taken down in October of 2017 due to being too outdated to be on the website any longer. Because of this, only around 6 of the 91 exclusive game scenes across the 33 interchangeable episodes, interactable episodes, I said that wrong, I apologize, have ever surfaced on the internet, all available on YouTube, while the rest are considered lost. Sorry, were considered lost because there is a couple of updates. On October 20th of 2022, a video showcasing a playthrough of the Flash game and both of the exclusive scenes from the Series 1 episode Bus were found on Dailymotion, increasing the number of found scenes to 8. The Cap scene from Series 1's Space and the Doug scene from Series 2's Up were found just 2 days later, further increasing the total to 10. On July 13th of 2023, the C scene from the Space episode was uploaded to YouTube, leading all 3 of the Space exclusive scenes to be officially found. Now on October 22nd of 2023, the Spot and Top scenes from Bus and the Doug scene from the episode Up were found. And on December 26th of 2023, the 6th scene from the episode Key, the Fool, Loot, and Tool scenes from the episode Moon, as well as the Might and Sight scenes from the episode Tightrope were all found. Then, on December 30th of 2023, the original 2010 version of the game with only the Series 1 episodes were found to have been archived via the Wayback Machine. Sadly, only the main menu works, since when you click on an episode, all it does is load forever, so the exclusive scenes as well as the newer versions of the game are still lost. Thank you, Simon the Shorts Guy, for your suggestion. This was a very interesting one. Thank you so much for suggesting it. I enjoyed learning about it. And now let's move on to number 2. At number 2, we have Nuon Games and Enhanced Movies, partially found unreleased games and special edition movies for the Nuon DVD game system from 2000 to 2003. The Nuon Enhanced DVD players, originally known as Project X, were a series of DVD video game combination units manufactured by Samsung, Toshiba, and RCA during the early 2000s. The Nuon processors that differentiated these units from regular DVD players were produced by VM Labs. The idea behind this collaboration was that VM Labs would focus on developing and embracing the Nuon processors and developing games, while other companies would handle the manufacturing of the consoles. The intention was that the Nuon chip would become the new standard for video processing on DVD players and would greatly expand their capabilities. Later on in production, it was decided that the special edition versions of movies would be released with special features such as smoothly zooming into and panning around the scene. These features would only be available on DVD players that used the Nuon chip. A little bit about the development of this. In the mid to late 1990s, consoles began switching from cartridges to CD discs. VM Labs wanted to make a system that could play both DVDs and video games, and with that in mind, the Nuon was unveiled at E3 1998 under the name Project X. It would not be until October 27th of 1998 that VM Labs formally revealed Project X's final name, Nuon, to be released in 1999. However, due to a combination of the dot-com bubble burst and the 9/11 attacks, competition with other 6th-generation video game consoles, primarily the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, and simply running out of money due to low returns on licensing, the Nuon was a financial failure, with only 8 games and 4 enhanced movies ever officially being released. VM Labs declared bankruptcy and was bought out in 2002 by Genesis Microchip. Genesis Microchip then dropped the platform in 2003, and that was the end of the Nuon. However, multiple projects were in development at VM Labs prior to the discontinuation of the Nuon. Enthusiast sites such as Nuon Dome list as many as 38 games that were discussed. However, the last working archive of the official Nuon website only features 8 currently unreleased games marked as work in progress. The one existing unreleased Nuon game prototype, Bust-A-Move 4, is currently held by a member of the Nuon Dome fan site, who has posted a review of the game and 2 videos of the game in action. The user received the game in October 2001 from VM Labs to help with playtesting and claims the game is nearly 100% complete and working, though the 2-player mode causes performance issues. However, the current holder does not want to release his prototype to the public. Selfish bastard. No other Nuon game prototypes are known to exist. However, descriptions and cover art for some of the alleged 38 games are present on either Nuon Dome or archives of the original official site. The latest working archive of the official Nuon site lists Amaze, Myst, Monopoly, Bust-A-Move 4, The Game of Life, Speedball 2100, Z-Cards, and Breakout as all being in development at the time. The site contains working links for pages specific to Bust-A-Move 4, Myst, Monopoly, and Amaze, containing box art, descriptions, and even screenshots. Monopoly shows up in the archives of the VM Labs online store, though it is marked as coming soon. Very little information remains for the other games. Prototype footage from the Nuon version of Amaze does exist on YouTube, and 2 concept videos for native for the Nuon have surfaced. The Nuon Dome fan site has descriptions for some other games, but no new box art is present, and most screenshots are marked with disclaimers that they are from different systems. And while we don't know a lot about the various games, there is more information about the movies. The following 4 movies were given official Nuon enhanced releases: Bedazzled, Dr. Dolittle 2, Planet of the Apes 2001, and The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension. That's a deep cut. The 3 movies that were known to have been unreleased for Nuon enhanced editions were Galaxy Quest, Stigmata, and The Toxic Avenger Part 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie. A prototype of a Nuon enhanced version of Galaxy Quest was featured at the VM Labs booth at CES 2001, and according to a reporter, Dexter Davenport, this prototype contained a feature that could show all the best lines from the movie, enabling the viewer to get an overview of the film from different perspectives. Not much else is known about this demonstration disc or any other planned implemented features. Also, alleged Nuon enhanced movie prototype discs for both Galaxy Quest and Stigmata appeared on an eBay auction. According to Nuon Dome, the auction was a former employee of VM Labs and was taken down because the contents were considered stolen property. The contents were then destroyed. All that remains of these auctions are images of the 2 prototype discs. No known prototype for the disc of Toxic Avenger has surfaced, and the only evidence is discussions from the 2001 Chiller Theater Expo. The Tox Box, a box set containing part 1, 2, and 3, was intended to have a 4th disc containing the Nuon enhanced features. Toxic Avenger Part 3 was also intended to have Nuon enhanced features, and the Tox Box was released in 2002, but the Nuon enhanced features were not present. It is not known why these features were cut, though Tox Box was also slated for a summer 2001 release at the time of the expo. It is unknown if any other footage of the Nuon prototype games or movies exist, in addition to the CES 2001 footage and the 2001 Troma Dance Festival that apparently included Nuon DVD demonstrations, as VM Labs was a sponsor, though any footage of unreleased Nuon games has yet to surface. This one I just think is interesting because there have been, over the years, a lot of projects that were like, this is going to be the next thing in gaming, whether that was the Philips CDI, the Atari Jaguar, or the Nuon interactive DVD system. And it was just like big ideas, low results, and ultimately you get a piece that nobody bought at the time and now has become more or less lost. And that's kind of the thing to remember, is that not all pieces of lost media are just missing treasures. Some of it is just garbage that was thrown out, but that's not really the point. Good or bad, it's the fact that it's missing. People don't like knowing the feeling of knowing that there's something out there that they can't access, or that they just can't access anymore. I mean, look at when they discontinued the Choco Taco. Like, people were up in arms about it, but I guarantee you most of those people hadn't eaten a Choco Taco in years. It's not that they wanted to go out and get a Choco Taco. They just wanted to know that it was available to them. And ultimately, I feel like that is why people want to find certain less quality pieces of lost media. Coming in at number 3, we have the IT Crowd, lost unused script from the American adaptation of the British television series circa 2007. Now guys, I'll be honest with you, I love the original IT Crowd. I had no idea there was ever an American version. And apparently, this series was set to have an American adaptation at one point to be aired by NBC and to premiere in 2007. And it was to star Joel McHale as Roy, Richard Ayoade was going to reprise his role as Moss, Jessica St. Clair was Jen, and Rocky Carroll as Denholm. It would be produced by Fremantle Media for Universal Media Studios, with Steve Tao and the original show's creator, Graham Linehan, serving as executive producers, though Linehan states that he had no involvement in the project. A pilot was shot in January of 2007, and a full series was ordered by NBC to air in 2007 and 2008. But by September of 2007, The Hollywood Reporter reported that the show had not gone into production and was to be cancelled, as the series didn't quite spark with the new NBC chairman, Ben Silverman, leaving a number of scripts for episodes not made in the dust. Now, despite never actually airing, the pilot was leaked online in 2012 and was criticized for being basically just the exact same thing as the original show, just with different accents and actors, and in fact one of them being the exact same actor from the original, and questioning why they adapted it in the first place when they could have just aired the original series instead if it was so similar. But whether they were also just bare-bone duplicates of the original's pre-existing episodes or not, the remaining scripts for the adaptation are still unseen to this day. I do think it is interesting in how many times that they've tried to adapt British shows for an American audience only for it to kind of fail, and then, for people to just kind of get into the original show, and it's like, why didn't you bring the show over in the first place? There was another show like this called Being Human, which was about a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost all living together, and literally the American version was just a scene-for-scene remake of the original series, and it's like, why would you do this? I love the original IT Crowd, and I think Joel McHale is an amazing comedian. But then, like, why would you not utilize that talent and make, like, either like a sequel or a spin-off or make it its own thing? Why would you just make a carbon copy? Again, it had to be easier to just bring the show over. But either way, this one's just a little interesting to me. At number 4, we have Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro's Thor cutscene, which is a lost web-exclusive cutscene from the PlayStation action-adventure sequel game from 2001. Now, Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro is a 2001 action-adventure video game for the PlayStation developed by Vicarious Visions as a sequel to Neversoft's 2000 video game Spider-Man. The game is somewhat notorious for being delayed in September of 2001 and undergoing several sensitivity changes due to the final level taking place atop the World Trade Center, alongside other various references deemed to be distasteful following the events of 9/11. In the years following the game's release, it had been an often reported trivium that there was supposed to be an additional scene in the game's final cutscene after Electro is defeated, featuring a cameo from the cameo appearance by the Marvel Comics hero Thor. This would explain the gag later on in the scene showing Spider-Man lamenting a news article that gives Thor all the credit for defeating Electro. However, despite the ubiquity of the legend, no evidence had ever been found regarding the existence of this scene, or if it was ever in the game at all. Most simply assumed it had been removed amongst the numerous changes made to the post-9/11 version of the game due to the sequence taking place atop the World Trade Center. However, this theory was complicated when the pre-9/11 version of the game surfaced and the purported Thor scene was absent. In 2021, a Reddit post was made by user Granola Demon in r/lost media discussing the legendary Thor scene and highlighting some YouTube comments in which a user claimed to have seen the scene and that it was once available to download on Activision's website. Reddit user Mr. Fiji commented on the post and corroborated that they too remember seeing the scene, providing a summary of its contents. Despite testimonies of the users in the post claiming that the scene definitely did exist, no evidence had yet been found, and there was a pervading consensus that the scene was a myth. But what was this supposed scene supposed to have? Well, most recollections of the scene claim it involved Spider-Man and Thor speaking atop the Twin Towers following the defeat of the Electro. The most detailed account of what the scene allegedly contains comes from Mr. Fiji, and he states, "The clip I saw starts with Spidey throwing Electro's harness on the ground, and I think he webs it up. At this point, Thor randomly flies in and strikes a bolt of lightning down on it, destroying the harness. Then at that point, the two of them chit-chat about stuff, and the scene ends." So it's probably fake, right? Well, on June 3rd of 2023, Discord user Spider Glider found via the Wayback Machine a backup of an image called Spidey_MOV.jpg on an archived link from Activision's now defunct Spider-Man video game website. The never-before-seen image depicts a thumbnail-sized view of Spider-Man and Thor in what is likely a still from the video. The still lines up with previous testimonies that the scene contains Spider-Man and Thor talking atop the World Trade Center at the game's final set piece. For the first time ever, definitive proof had been found that the Thor cutscene did in fact exist. User Bungus Bungaloid then found that the original of the image was from a download page on the same website, and that the page had been archived and could still be viewed via the Wayback Machine. Viewing the page confirmed finally that not only did the Thor scene exist, but that it was once available to download directly from Activision's website. Further link tracing found that the 4.6 megabyte file was known as small.mov and was hosted at download.activision.com/Activision/Spiderman_2/small.mov. Unfortunately, no active download link survives, meaning that the thumbnail image found by the Spider Glider is the only material from the scene that is known to exist. I love all kinds of anything involving the Marvel Universe and missing scenes. I remember there used to be a rumor about Captain America was supposed to make a cameo appearance at the end of the Hulk movie, the Incredible Hulk, you know, at the beginning of the MCU film saga, but that it was canceled for some reason, mainly probably due to the fact that the Hulk was going to be in the Arctic trying to commit suicide, and Cap would stop him. But I just think it's kind of interesting that this piece would be removed, like so much of the content of that game was apparently altered or removed, but that it would be available for download on their website, and that nobody has a copy of it. Like, clearly the rumor existed because people saw this movie on Activision's website, but nobody bothered to save a copy of it. That's amazing to me, and I guarantee you somebody has probably an old floppy disk somewhere that has, or an old CD that they burned it to that has this movie, and we just need for them to find it and upload it, and hopefully that will happen someday. Alright guys, we're going to get that spicy piece here in just a second, but while I have your attention, again, I want to thank you so much for joining us on this journey. Please be sure to leave a comment, please be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We're still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're doing great on that. We're still at a bit over 800 at the time of recording, but I know those are going to go up, and up. Again, be sure to check out the links, maybe buy a mini, maybe join the YouTube channel memberships, maybe join the Patreon, or maybe leave a one-time PayPal donation. Any financial support you can give the channel is appreciated, but again, subscribing is just as good. Make sure to share the video with your friends, share the channel with your friends. If you think they'll enjoy it, just let them know about it. Earlier this week, I mentioned on my community page that it looks like some of the other video series on this channel, the neckbeard content, the creepypastas, are getting more views, but further perusal of my analytics showed that these videos consistently get me more subscribers than any other video type on the channel. So don't worry, they're not going anywhere. We were really fortunate in that we got to 50 episodes, and you know what? We're going to do another 50 at least. But I can't do it without your help. So again, make sure to keep coming back to the videos, watching, commenting, and if you have any ability to do so, please consider buying a mini or just joining a membership and supporting the channel. It really does mean the most. And with that, let's get to today's spicy piece. And at number 5, we have the film Lynching Scene, a genuine lynching scene, which is a lost film of a alleged legitimate lynching incident from 1897. Let's see how many more times I can say the word lynching, right? Lynching Scene, a genuine lynching scene, also known as Lynching Scene at Paris, Texas, is an 1897 alleged actuality film, produced and distributed by the International Film Company for independent exhibitors in June of 1897. The recording apparently depicted a riotous crowd executing a prisoner in the state of Texas. The work's lost status, combined with the International Film Company's refusal to impart key information regarding the lynching, makes it very difficult to verify or debunk its authenticity. Now, a bit of background. Forged in October of 1896, the International Film Company was a joint venture by former Vitascope Company and Edison Manufacturing Company employees Charles H. Webster and Edmund Kuhn, respectively. Though the pair would produce original works primarily within the actuality genre, their initial films simply attempted to reproduce successful works released by the Edison Manufacturing Company. At the time, Thomas Edison could do little to stop this, as his inaugural films were not copyrighted. Ultimately, Edison got the last laugh, as not only was he able to file copyright protection for his later productions, but his subsequent legal action caused the international film companies, among others, to swiftly depart the U.S. film industry by 1898. Among the Edison films that the International Film Company reproduced included two 1895 Mondo recordings made by Alfred Clark. The first of these, titled Indian Scalping Scene, depicted a group of Indians killing a tenderfoot. 2 years later, in June of 1897, the International Film Company released Scalping of a Tenderfoot, later known as Scalping Scene by Thundercloud. The organization having boasted that Thundercloud was a genuine Indian in its marketing. but perhaps the more lucrative endeavor were productions surrounding lynching incidents. This trend began with the release of Clark's A Frontier Scene, which depicted the execution of a horse thief by a group of enraged cowboys. The Edison Manufacturing Company later renamed the film to Lynching Scene and Lynching of a Horse Thief, presumably to capitalize on the lynching trend. Whatever the case, sources like Before the Nickelodeon and the New Encyclopedia of Southern Culture remarked that Edison had already begun to attract viewers intrigued by seeing mondo concepts like executions and gore. It should be noted that Indian scalping scene and lynching scene have both been lost to time. So, what about the film in question? Well, armed with the knowledge surrounding the success of Edison's Mondo films, the International Film Company set out to create their own lynching recording. In the International Photographic Films of 1897 to 1898, which documented most of the organization's films, a listing can be found for a production titled Lynching Scene, a genuine lynching scene. With at a length of 75 feet, the film allegedly depicted a riotous crowd charging towards a jail located somewhere in the state of Texas. After a sheriff's restraint attempts fail, the crowd is able to retrieve a male prisoner and forcibly position him at a nearby telegraph pole. The prisoner is then hit by a barrage of bullets, ending his life in a brutal fashion. Having aimed to sell the recording to independent exhibitors for $15, which would be $564.46 adjusted for 2024 inflation, the International Film Company claimed the incident's full location and its victim was classified per an agreement with the relevant authorities. But interestingly, the company previously did reveal its location, as a June 1897 advertisement in the Phonoscape stated the film was originally titled Lynching Scene at Paris, Texas. However, a subsequent promotion in November and December of that year revealed that the title was reworked as Lynching Scene, a Genuine Lynching Scene, which is not a very creative title. Now, there's a lot more information about this, but ultimately, if you're interested in that, please go to the Lost Media Wiki. But ultimately, the majority of the International Film Company's work, including this film, are considered lost. Two films, School is Out and Dewar's Scotch Whiskey Scotch Dance, are among the rare exceptions that have resurfaced. Poor preservation efforts mean it is unlikely to ever be recovered, just like how over 90% of other pre-1929 American films. Thus, with no images having resurfaced, the mystery surrounding the film's actual legitimacy is likely to remain unsolved. I honestly find this one interesting, one, because its name is so on the nose, and two, just because, we talk about people's fascination with these topics like it's a more modern thing, but apparently back in before the 1900s even hit, people were paying good money to see people get scalped, to see them lynched, and it was just like, wow, okay, I'm just amazed that such early film efforts would include that kind of content, but apparently it's what people wanted. And that's the video, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Be sure to smash the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, as well as check the links and maybe consider joining the channel or the Patreon. Until next time, everybody, I'm Mr. Sean, this is Chimera Miniatures, and I sincerely hope that you alpha great day and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye!